What's up guys, Rogue9 here, and today I want to talk a little bit about some of the issues with shields in Rainbow Six Siege. Occasionally when I use a shield it feels like I die from being shot straight from the front, which of course should not be possible except when getting shot in the hand. So I went ahead and spent some time in custom games running some tests, and many thanks to YouTube user Dtron UFE for initially making me aware of one of the current bugs with shields with a video he created. What he showed me really is an odd bug. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, but first off, dying while using a shield and facing towards the enemy can of course be caused by latency problems. And with a game as fast-paced and close-quartered as Siege, even relatively small latencies can make the ghosting effect that causes Pika's advantage feel significant. Here you can see some synchronized footage of a shield user and shooter, and what it highlights is that as a shield, you can already be facing towards an enemy on your screen, but if you or your opponent have a relatively high ping, you might still be side on his or her screen. If we slow the footage down a little, this effect becomes even more apparent. Now of course, for test purposes here, I created a game where we each had a pretty high ping of over 250 milliseconds, so in actual games you would probably not experience this effect in such an extreme way, but I hope this kind of highlights the issue. Now this effect is nothing really new to most players, as I'm sure we've all experienced ping related issues at some point or another, but there is also a shield bug that I want to show you next that could affect your game if you're trying to angle towards your enemy while remaining stationary. Here, let me show you what I mean with some dual screen background footage so that you can see the first and third person view of the shield operator at the same time. Now when the shield carrier turns to his right while remaining stationary, you can see that the third person view of the character also turns right in small increments. So far so good. Here's the problem though. When he turns to his left without moving, you can get this odd movement where the third-person model of the shield will actually turn the wrong way for a little while before then snapping back to where the first-person view is facing. In most of our tests, we were moving quite slowly to explore this issue, but we also made sure to test this phenomenon also occurs when the shield op is rotating at higher speeds, and it does. The movement is just faster. Now the consequence of this odd turning behavior is that as a shield op you can end up with your first and third person headings diverging significantly. Going by the in-game compass, I would estimate that the reset happens about every 40 degrees, and since the third person model turns in the exact opposite way during that time, you can end up with your first and third person headings diverging by almost 90 degrees. In some ways this is quite amusing because your shots will still hit where your first person view is aiming, even if your character model and even the laser pointer of your gun are facing in a completely different direction. And I say amusing, yeah, it's fun and all when you're playing around in a custom game, but in a ranked match this could turn a whole lot less funny pretty quickly. If you end up getting a kill like this, your opponent will be mildly infuriated for sure, but what is more likely to happen is that they will simply aim at you and shoot you straight in the side of the head while you thought that you were facing towards them, thereby giving the impression of getting shot straight through the shield. What makes this effect even more confusing is that it will occur most of the time, but not all of the time. As you can see here, when we tested this for the first time in a custom game, the misalignment was not happening for my character when seen from Pogo's view, but it was happening for him from mine. But then in a later test with more players on the server, it did happen from Pogo's view for all of us, so I guess the takeaway is that it doesn't even happen reliably. Okay. We tested this effect in quite a few ways to see what would cancel it and what wouldn't. You can hip fire and reload while being split from your model. The effect will occur while crouched or while standing, but when you change stances, your character model resets. Aiming down sights will align your third-person model as long as you're aiming, and when you stop aiming, you will sometimes go back to being split and sometimes not. Droning will also bring your headings together, but only as long as you're using the drone. But luckily, almost anything else you can do will actually cancel out the effect. Moving in any way at all will instantly align your headings. This effect only occurs when stationary and turning to the left. Throwing an object or extending your shield as Montagne will also immediately realign you with your character model. Clash is immune to this bug since her shield is always either extended or on her back, so of course the easiest solution to this problem is for you to play more Clash. Yeah, maybe not. So okay, yes, it can occur that your first and third person headings can be split apart by almost 90 degrees if you're stationary and turning to the left, but not right. This can of course leave you hugely vulnerable to enemies that you thought you were looking at, but in practice, when playing the game, you're moving most of the time, so the chances of actually dying because of this are relatively small. Nevertheless, it is a curious little bug that may just catch you out now and then. As minor as it may be in actual games, I do hope that this bug gets picked up and taken care of sooner rather than later. And that's pretty much all I was able to find while testing shields and trying to figure out why they can be somewhat unreliable sometimes. If you have any other theories or know of any other quirks that affect shields, let me know in the comment section below. I look forward to hearing what else might be causing problems. As always, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next episode.